Okay, so we're talking about printing onto fabric. This is a way of doing it. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it's like a waste of space unless you use like the paper to collage. So I'm working with the HP DeskJet 2752. Excuse me. And so I glued the fabric on to the copy paper. I wouldn't put it on the edge because it could cause jamming in your printer, and then you run the copy. So again, it doesn't stick. So with that, I've done the same thing with this. I just took some of the Tim Holtz washi tape and I cut up an old sheet and I ran it through the copier. I was pulling on it because it wouldn't come through, so it's kind of distorted on the end, but for the most part, of course, it's not a laser printer, so it's not going to be as dark and crisp. But I mean, the inkjet printer works. So that's where I cut this word destination out, and I sewed around this particular piece that I took from here, cut it down. I sewed around it, and then you can attach this with just regular glue. You can use fabric glue, you know, just whatever you want to attach it to. You can make a paper clip, it can be a label, it can be a title to a book, you know, so on and so forth. This is muslin, and these are just pieces of cotton sheet here. So, and this same thing, cotton sheet here. So that is the quick way of doing it. Again, you have to be careful with your edges when you're running it in the printer. So it would be the same thing, is to, you know, glue it to the copy paper and then run it through the printer. And this was the paper that I chose, the Paper Studio. It was 2016, but you know, I had it, and this is what I chose to copy this. but we're going to glue these onto this cardstock. And I'm not going to put, I'm just going to put a dab of glue on each. I'm not going to worry about putting them down. And I don't care if they're crooked or not. And I want to leave room to cut around. Now let's put fabric, and there's no need to iron. Okay, so I ran it through the copier, and it didn't copy as well as I wanted it to. Some of it kind of smudged up here, but it's okay. It's okay. It's not a laser printer. Again, I'm just working with the inkjet printer, so that's to be expected. So I'm going to, I'm thinking about sewing around the very edges and then cutting them out. And like I said, I'm going to make stickers. So let me cut these out. And I'm going to go around. That's why I wanted to leave space so I could have room to sew around the edges. Okay. And I'm just going to sew around these edges. So I have my tension onto my stitch length onto, and I'm just going to go around the edges with a bed stitch. little bit more straighter, but there you are. So I could do the rest of these. Like I say, they can be labels, paper clips, or just on a page. You can collage with them. There's a number of things that you could do with it, but we're talking in terms of printing on fabric and, you know, creating with printing on fabric. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next scene. Okay, so let's continue. We're talking about transferring onto fabric, or, you know, printing onto fabric. I cut out another cotton piece of sheet, and the trick to cutting out the sheets with a smoother edge that I've found is to, especially for the sidekick, is to use cardstock to sandwich the sheet between cardstock and then run it through, and you'll get like an impression, but that's okay too. So I have found that these rub-on stickers that are from the Dollar Tree do transfer onto the fabric quite nicely. So I've cut out the word V. Let me show you. Using my Martha Stewart bone folder that's probably older than me. Had it for a while. And do you see there's no lifting or anything, but what I suggest to seal it with is the fabric Mod Podge. You know, if you're going to use it as a cover or anything, you know, I would seal it with the Mod Podge. So moving right along. Okay, so let's continue. I already pre-done those, but I can show you. But we're talking about transferring onto fabric. So we do have the good old saran wrap technique, where it's a layer of saran wrap, your paper. You know, I've used washi tape, I've used ephemera, anything of that sort, and then another layer of saran wrap, and then wax paper or parchment paper over, and then you iron it onto the fabric. So as you can see, that's what I've done here, is saran wrap technique. And then I just kind of sewed around the area. I don't know if you could see that. But this was saran wrap and So is this. So I saran wrap the bird on. But these little pieces you hear are just little cut pieces of napkin that I use the saran wrap technique on. And then I sewed it on this end. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, so I think, let's see if I have something. I was working on this tag here, and I was gonna write the year in here. You know what I was thinking, just so I could show you. I stamped the word 1927 onto here because I was going to use it here versus what I used here. Aren't these adorable? These are from Artie Mae's, her freebies that you could get. And I was trying to make a story with this tag, you know, as a baby and then her now. 1927. So again, I was gonna write in the year here. So let's see if vellum will work, and then I could show you like exactly what I'm talking about. So let me preheat my iron here. I'm just gonna cut a piece here. And if your saran wrap gets a little too clingy, you know, you can take a dryer sheet, which I don't know who still use dryer sheets nowadays. There's so many other things out there. But you could take a dryer sheet and rub it across and take out some of the static. Okay, so this is vellum, and you want to have like a border. So I'm going to cut a piece here for the bottom of the vellum, and then let's cut a top layer piece here. Top layer piece here. Just kind of press it down. So you want the paper or ephemera, you want it layered between the saran wrap. So let me move my embellishment. My threads here. I'm going to lay 1927 here, and we get a piece of wax paper. I don't have to go too far. I have these. These are from the Dollar Tree. I really love these patty paper squares. It's 100 of them in here, and they're pre-cut to 5.5 by 5.5. So I'm going to cut a small piece to lay over. So remember what you're trying to tack on cut it a little bit bigger. You're gonna sandwich it between the saran wrap, and then you're gonna put the wax paper on top. So I have these flowers up here because this was not my plan to do this, but I do want to give you a demonstration. Now with this little iron, $12 iron that I got from Walmart, I'm just going to, let's see, put it on my highest setting. But to protect everything down here, I'm just going to lay a piece of cloth here. And then I'm going to iron it on. And I do have it to the highest setting, no steam. Of course, you do not want steam. You want to kind of lift it up to be sure that it's taken. Okay, so that's taken. Take in. And I didn't ruin any of this down here. So I'm going to remove the wax paper. And I don't have any like residue here. Some of these strings that's hanging. Alright. So that's the extent of that. You know, it doesn't have any lifting or anything around it. And again, that was vellum. I was really afraid that that was going to melt, but it done okay. It actually done okay. Okay, so that's that technique. Here's something. I was working on another project here. This is going to be an envelope, and it's cloth. As you can see, I sewed around it, you know, made the lines here, and then I'm going to make a window pocket here and decorate it for something. But I can do that one more time to be sure. That you saw it. So it's a layer of saran wrap on the bottom, right? There's a layer on the top. And then I could use the same wax paper. Actually, I have a split in it, so I'll go to the next piece. Okay. Let's take this and sandwich it really good. I'm gonna cut around it, and you do want to leave like a slight border, just for it to seal. Okay. So that's that. And I'm gonna get my homemade ironing pad. Let's go around and place that there. And this is one of the stamps that I'm going to use on this project. project. So I'll go ahead and show you once more. Wax paper. And then I'm going to iron this onto the fabric. Ephemera. I'm not sure where this ephemera came from. It could be some holes. It could be, I'm not sure where it came from. Okay, and you do want to peel this up to see if it's adhering. That corner was not adhering very well. And then that's it. It's laid down. It's into the fabric. I haven't had any problems. I mean, but it's one of the oldest tricks in the book is the saran wrap technique. So I also want to show you that, of course, you have your transfer papers. I bought the inkjet because the only printer that I have is inkjet, and I find, I mean, for me, it's not too pricey, but for some it could be a little pricey. $9.99 for 7 sheets, which is over $1 a sheet, but I mean, it's worth it. You know, they have the free download software. And of course, we know that Hobby Lobby don't do coupons anymore, so that's the downside of the side of it all. But it works really well for inkjet printing. And I've used one of these sheets. It's pretty old. I think it was like 1995, 97. And I've used one of the sheets out of here, and fortunate enough, it worked. But as you can see, I got this from the thrift store for 45 cents, and I ironed it onto a pillowcase for my grandbaby. I ironed a picture onto the pillowcase for my grandbaby, so that does work. And then you have like your ribbon transfers. This is for satin ribbons, but I've used it on satin cloth, and even though it's in strips, I was using wording for it, so I've used one of these on like a satin cloth, and it worked pretty good. It worked pretty good. Again, it was for something for my grandbaby, so it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, for a ribbon transfer. It could be satin fabric, because that's what I've used it on. So that's it for you know, fabric and transferring onto fabric, copying onto fabric. There is a number of ways that you can create on fabric, you know, outside of your what do you call those inks? Yeah, archival inks. So that's that for that. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.